Planet magazine.
Also known as Wednesday 13.
Welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
Welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
Welcome to the video. Welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
You're listening to Brutal Planet.
Hey, what's up, everybody? CJ Pierce here from Drowning Pool, and you listen to Brutal Planet Media right here. Get yourself.
Hey, I'm Steve from Within the Ruins, and this is Brutal Planet.
Greetings, Brutal Planet. We are live today with Mr. Waylon Reavis from the band A Killer's Confession. Waylon, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Really good. This is my first time meeting you, but I believe Joey's talked to you before.
It was just briefly, Waylon, when you played in Minneapolis here a couple years ago.
Was I with Struggle that time, or was I with Adelaide's Way?
That was with Bloodywood.
Bloodywood. Okay. Because I've only been to Minneapolis with AKC a few times, so I can pretty much call them off at the top of my head. Be like,
okay.
I was going to say, it's probably tough to remember all those meetings.
Yeah.
I'm getting there in my age. It's like, I'm trying to remember.
So I reached out to you because, I just discovered your band shortly before you guys were playing here. And I reached out to you to see if I could shoot your show. And yes. you got me a media pass. And I wanted to show you a couple pictures here quick, because I don't know if you ever saw them or not.
They're good.
Here.
Yeah, let me see this.
All right.
That was right when I started doing the makeup again. Oh yeah.
Was it?
Oh yeah, that's a great.
So we got shot. This one's one of my favorites.
That I've seen this photo right here. I've seen this.
Have you?
I have. Oh, I've definitely seen that one a lot. Oh yeah, these are great photos, brother.
And then this is the only shot I have of you and me. You gave me knuckles there at the end. So.
I always try to be cool, like with anybody taking photography, and be mindful. Always try to give a shot just for them, where I'm like looking at them.
Yeah.
And I do that out of respect for them, like so they can have that one.
shot. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, it's awesome.
Because you're up there and you're in the moment, and it's like you got somebody like working around you, and I do let you try to capture what's going on, but I do try to take that one moment and give you that one shot just for you.
Yeah.
Where I give you a thumbs up or flip you off or just something where it's just we're making eye contact and making a moment.
But yeah, I had a blast shooting your set, and I fell in love with the band after watching you, and I went out and bought the albums and stuff, and it's awesome.
Speaking of new albums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look at that beautiful thing right there. Victim 1. I'm so proud of this record. Like, it is like this is the first time I've had a vinyl since I'm broken. And I'm so proud of it because I took a year to write this, and I've got it back, and I've got the CD, and I've got the vinyl, and I was able to sit back to listen to it. And I've never had an album come out where when I get it in my hands and listen to it first time, there was always something that I was not happy with or something. And this is the first time that I feel complete. Like, I feel like the album's complete. I don't feel like there's anything better I could have done. If that said, like, I feel like I was able to convey the story and the message and the art, and sonically, I've never had an album sound like this album, and I'm just so proud of it.
Sounds great. Well, let's talk about the concept a little bit, because I think the concept is really interesting. Talk about it a little bit, and what made you decide to go that route.
Well, my manager, Andrew, a good friend from TKO, brought up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, why don't you be A Killer's Confession? Do an album about being a serial killer." And I thought about that. And anybody knows me, I'm too kind-hearted. I really didn't dig the whole serial killer vibe. That's pretty damn evil. And that's not me, but I am about a good vigilante. I love the Boondock Saints. I love Deadpool. A good vigilante I can get behind. It's like Zangief from Wreck-It Ralph. Zangief bad guy, but Zangief not bad guy. It's like that type of idea. And so I started writing it, and I hit all the Seven Deadly Sins, but I started writing this, and I was like, man, every song can't be the same of going in somebody's bedroom and stabbing them or find them in a dark alley. So it's like it's victim one, and there's one real victim, and it's the song called Purpose is where you really get to where the victim is. The rest of it is like it's all in the killer's head. It's everything's is conversations and warnings and like greed's a warning zone of like don't let your greed get to you because you'll find me at the end of it. But the rest of it, like songs like Sun, where it's a conversation between two sides of the brain, voices the same way, where it's a conversation between me and Aaron Nordstrom, but we're playing the same character inside the killer's mind. One side's hope, one side's the rage, and they're fighting over control. And so, like, when you listen to this concept, it's not like a story where it's laid out from chapter one with song one to chapter 10, where you have a story of a boy finds a dog and by the end of it, he's burying the dog. It's not that. This is all here. And this is what's going on in his head. And he knows that he is just as much guilty as the people he's searching for, if that makes sense. Once he did the killing, he knows he is guilty of the sin of murder, and so he has a real hard time with that. And so a lot of songs deal with that idea of like, how would you handle something like this if you did do the right thing and had to take it to that extreme? How is that going to affect somebody's psyche? So like I look at this of like it's not like a typical concept where it's laid out A to Z. This one's more like a Tarantino film where we're starting with wrath, but we're not going to get to what caused it until the middle of it. We're going to bounce back and forth. So you really have to go put together and understand that it's taking place inside of his mind. A lot of it is going on up here, and because he's talking to himself, and I do different voices to convey which character in his head's talking.
Yeah, it's cool that it's not like a linear story.
No, it's not. No, not at all. Like that was
So many of our thoughts are not linear either. I mean, we're all over the place.
But I'm a huge fan of like that style where you start in the middle and then you come back to the beginning, and you kind of go, and then you have a conclusion. With Wasteland, that's the conclusion of it. Like he's walking through a wasteland because what he's done to his life. It's like you can't bring me down. And I'm going to continue this. I've already started writing the new album, and I'm continuing this concept into the next album. So this is more or less like chapter one of the story. It's going to be 3 arcs. It's going to be three albums. It's going to be a trilogy. And we're going to go to the next phase of where this guy's going to go, and then we're going to go to the final phase with the 3rd album.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah,
it's a lot of research and understanding of mental health disorders and personality disorders. And
I was going to ask you how many true crime podcasts or something do you listen to like get into this?
Julie was really into the Dahmer thing when it all started. She was watching
the Netflix.
Yeah, she was watching it, and so that was on in the background. And I just wanted it, like when I did it, I just wanted it to be different, and in a way where I was talking in the right way, but I didn't want it to be just like A to B to C to D. I didn't want. So I leave breadcrumbs throughout the album with lyrics that tie back to other lyrics from other albums and other stuff where it just everything kind of ties in. I mean, here's a big Easter egg. If you take Unbroken, our first album, and you put it front to front, you see the victim and you see the killer, and they're facing each other from 2 different albums.
I didn't even make that connection.
That's cool.
Go look at Unbroken. That's the killer looking, and this is victim one. You see the victim tied up. You look at Unbroken, you'll see the killer standing there looking at him, and then you see, and this one you finally see that. So that's a little good Easter egg too.
That's cool.
I'm all about some Easter eggs.
Also, also very very Tarantino-esque because he does that too. He'll make references to characters from other movies.
It's a universe, it's like I'm creating this universe, and I kind of started it a while back with Unbroken with A Killer's Confession. I mean, you could bring it back to that song. I mean, that's pretty much says it all. But like this one, I just wanted to do it different, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be hokey. I didn't want it to just be like, well, anybody can just write. Well, I just walked up and I slit his throat in the middle of the night. That's kind of boring and steal their songs. And I was just like, how can we convey the pain that he's really going through in the choruses and the lyrics of like, this is hurting him just as much as it is the victim.
Mhm.
And the victim did deserve it, but the fact is, I mean, when you take drastic measures like that, you're going to suffer some kind of PTSD. There's going to be some kind of like repercussion of your actions. And I feel like in a lot of it, we do tap on that. Like with the rain, I talk about being medicated and dancing and not knowing if things are real or not. So there's the idea of like, did this happen in his head, type deal, like where this is like, are you just in a mental home and, have lost it? Because in the reality, what it's really based on is a man in a world he doesn't recognize anymore because so many bad things are happening and people are just okay with it. And he's like, this is not okay. This is not how I was raised. This is not right on any level. And he's finally just took it upon himself to do something about it.
I have several books on serial killers and stuff, and it's just interesting to read and just kind of hear or read interviews and stuff that they've done, and for this very purpose. So this is really well thought out, Waylon.
Thank you so much. And my wife can back me up. I wanted to throw the towel in 100 times.
Really?
This was not easy
Huh.
because nothing was good enough. Like I was like, I can do better. I can do better. I can do better. This is not good enough. This is corny. This is not good. This is a joke. If I was to put this out, this would be considered a joke. You can do better. And I got to thank Andrew Goodfriend for setting me down and being like, you're not going to tour. You're not going to do anything until you do this. And you give us this album, that's thought through, that it's songs, but it's a story, and you're being a killer's confession. And I can't say thank you enough to him for it, because it was the best thing he could ever done for me.
The concept you're talking about too kind of reminded me of this video I saw a while back where this guy who was in the military was talking about the first time he killed someone. And at the time he didn't really think about it, but then it started to like manifest in other ways, and through his psyche, he started drinking and becoming angry with people. And
yes, and the same thing goes through. Like, son, I said it was a conversation in the head, and it is. I use two different voices to like, I got a really heavy voice for one for the darker side, and the more sing song for the side being like, we don't need what we got's what we got, saying like we deserve this. And I try to do that, but it made it really hard live. I've been singing the song live, and I've got to go from character to character, because like in a performance stance, you really got to be in that moment and in that mindset to make it convey. Because everybody knows when you're just walking through the numbers and you're like, I'm just singing the song, singing the song. And that is not something I want to do. I want you to believe what I'm saying. And the only way to do that is to put yourself there. So I have to bounce from one attitude to another attitude in a breath, like to the exact opposite. And it made it very difficult. But my dad taught me when I was young, anything good in this life will be difficult. It will be difficult to achieve, but the rewards are great. And I feel that, I can sit back and I get it. Like, this is cool. Like, I'm like, I can't believe I come up with this. I sit back and I kind of laugh at myself. I'm like, wow, this is deeper than this is deeper than I've ever went.
It's interesting with art too, because it's like when you're making stuff like that, like you were saying, you're so self-critical, and then you put it down and you kind of get away from it and you get a new perspective and you come back to like, wow, this is actually really good.
Yeah. Because at first I was like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is not turning out the way I wanted it to. But I feel like if I had allowed myself to do it the original way, it wouldn't have turned out the way it did. Because I feel like each song is kind of its own story. Like Martyr, he's admitting that, he's proud of what he's done, but he did it to save the innocent. He did this to save somebody else from being harmed. And then, songs like Greed, it's like, I'm watching today's society, and in this guy's mind, he's just seeing people they're not willing to put in a hard day's work and just beg for everything and complain that's not on their plate. Never be afraid to go dig a ditch. Like if this was all to end, I have kids to feed. I will get out there. I will direct traffic. I will dig a ditch. I will pack your groceries. I will do what I got to do to make sure my family has a roof over their head. And I watch a lot of people go live, and it's kind of what's turned me off of social media anymore, because every time I turn it on, Like people have turned it in, and they're calling themselves influencers, and they beg for money, and it's like, hey, I don't want to be influenced. I want to be educated. Educate me on don't because influencing sounds like you're tricking me to believe something.
Yeah.
And so I don't like the term influencer. I like to be educated, and everybody thinks that their opinion is the only opinion, and then they sit there and beg for money, and it's just like you're being disgusting. Go out there and do something. Put out a piece of art and sell it. And I can understand that if you are on live and you pull up an album and be like, hey, I've spent the last year of my life putting this together. This is my life's work. Would you please buy it for $10? I can get behind that. But if you're sitting there being like, I'm in a G string, and every time you give me a cloud, I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to be there long. I find it
Yeah.
disgusting. It's like OnlyFans, all that stuff. It's just like, can't you do something better with yourself? You know?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think in some ways it's good because at least women can do it on their own now. Like they don't have to like have a pimp or
Now,
be
I can agree
trafficked
with
or
that,
something
too.
like that. But by the same token, it's like it's so saturated now. It's just like it's crazy. It's like, okay,
Can I
everyone's
sell my toes?
yeah.
Yeah, you know, but I
We
mean,
we've joked about starting our own OnlyFans, and we just do this like with no shirt on and stuff. So.
Yeah,
well,
we're
that's
like
the thing. It's not OnlyFans. I like OnlyFans is OnlyFans, and I don't have anything to do with that, and I'm not really keen on what they do in those. Whatever goes on there, I don't know about. I'm talking about like feeds that my 15-year-old, 16-year-old can see just
Mhm.
blatantly, you
Yeah.
know. And it's gotten to the point where it's a very fine line between pornographic, and it's like, there's a time and place for all this.
Mhm.
This is an open site where I'm pretty sure there's small children on here
Mhm.
that are watching this stuff, and you are just putting yourself out there. That's not something to be proud of.
Mhm.
And then people just begging for money, and it's like, can you not go and get a 9 to 5 and pay your bills like the rest of us and be a
Mhm.
productive,
totally.
like the world does not exist in social media. That's a fake world. You can be anybody you want. You can catfish who you want. This is not real. This is some BS, thing to take us away from our families and damn sure make you stupid. Like I feel like we're on a crash course with idiocracy like nobody's business. But because like people don't even know how to talk to each other anymore if it's not through a text or social media.
You're
the
preaching to
Matrix,
the
man.
choir here.
Yeah. It's
At
the
least
the
I'm not
Matrix at this
alone.
point.
And somebody said that I go like in an interview said that they felt like I'm taking a risk because everybody's so in the flash pan, like their attention span's not there. And with this album, you have to give me your attention to
Mhm.
understand. And I said that's not the type of listener I'm looking for. I'm looking for the people who want to use their mind.
Mhm.
I
That
think
want.
people. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
you
off.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. I think we underestimate that because there's like with all the stuff you're talking about, like there's a lot of the influencers, for example. There's a lot of like fake clout behind that, where they have
Yes.
bots and stuff. And I really think that like an audience like the one you're looking for is out there, and they're looking for something to challenge them.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people like that. You know what I mean?
And I know that too. And it's a little harder to get to them. And I'm okay with it because through AKC, I have been about the one at a time. I'm not looking to be a flash in the pan. I'm not looking to be a one hit wonder. I'm not looking to be uh, on top of the world playing at the Super Bowl or doing Times Square at New Year's Eve. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a dedicated fan base that gets what I'm doing. They understand it's art, but they also understand there's a message. And
Mhm.
they call it a cult following. I'm more about that. I've been a part of it my entire career. Mushroomhead, very much cult fan base, very
Mhm.
much so. And I prefer that because those people get it. I'm not here to be a fad. Like I'm going to say stuff that's going to offend you. I'm going to say I'm not PC. I'm freedom of speech, Second Amendment. I am that dude, and I like
So
especially
are
freedom
we.
of speech. I want people to know that, but I'm going to say that. Well, the character will say what he feels, and if it hurts your feelings, he'll just flat out say, "Excuse my language, fuck your feelings. I
Yeah.
don't care about your feelings." Like feelings never did anything for anybody. They're just yours, and we don't care. Like feelings are way overrated. You know, you can rely on your feelings, and by God, you're going to end up face down in a ditch. You need to be tough in this world.
Mhm.
And I just feel like we're in a place where somebody needs to make statements and say what everybody's thinking and not be afraid to be canceled. Can't do it. Take your best shot. I'm sorry that I want to protect your children. You
The
know,
thing
it's
is,
like,
it's harder to build an audience like that too, but they're gonna last a lot longer.
oh
They're
yeah,
gonna stick
and
with
that,
you.
Well, I
and
was
I've
going
been
to say
doing,
that cult following, they'll die for you.
yeah.
You
And
know.
I don't want them to die for me. I want them to die for their kids. I want them to die for tomorrow.
Hmm.
That's what I want my fans about. I want my fans looking at tomorrow and looking at the beauty of being a child and how majestic it can be. And for those who have been abused, to know that there's people out there that love you and we
Hmm.
accept you, and we want you to know that it wasn't okay what happened to you. You
Hmm.
know, that's what my message is. Like we have, and I'm pretty sure you guys know we have to save a kid. I won't say it on your show because it does get a lot of people in trouble when I finish that statement.
Well,
But
I'll say it for you. I was going to
mm,
tell you a story. The last time, my wife is Canadian, and the last time we went up to Winnipeg, I'm driving down the highway and I look, there's a guy on a motorcycle with one of your shirts on that says
yes,
"Save a kid, kill a pedophile."
and
So, and I'm
and,
like,
Yeah,
that's
we're
killer's confession shirt.
yeah, we don't censor on this show, especially on the live stream. You know, we
mhm.
might like if we're trying to get monetized, we might like bleep some stuff, but you know,
Well, that's the
we're free
thing.
speech
This, like,
to the core.
they'll demonetize you for this. They
Yeah.
will throw you a letter saying you're promoting hate speech. I laugh and I'm like, okay, you're just asking me to double down because who are you protecting? You know, that's the fact.
Right.
It's like these people are disgusting. They need to be brought to light. And that's what Victim One is all about, is bringing this to light and being like, you know, somebody's got to take there needs to be a line in the sand drawn, and you're on the one side or you're on the other. And by God, you better hope you're not on the wrong side of this one because
Just
there's
just
no
to
forgiveness.
just to play devil's advocate a little bit, you also have to be careful because a lot of people are accused of
Mm,
being pedophiles unfairly
That
too.
is
So
true, and
yeah,
you know everything goes to a court of law. But
sure.
if there's DNA evidence and there's absolute proof, take you
Yeah.
out with a 22 right there. Don't even go to jail. Like you don't even get. I don't even want the taxpayer wasting gas money on you.
what did you think?
I'm dead serious too. Like it's such a terrible thing because like and it's eye for an eye. You took that life away, so you don't really
Mm,
deserve to have one because the life that child was going to have is over and it's never
And
going to be the same.
street justice is not kind to those people either. Like in
Oh no,
jail,
it's
it's like
not. And but you know, it's like that. That's the thing. They shouldn't even have rooms. That it should be just dealt with. And you know, and you have the 19-year-old boy that had the 16-year-old girlfriend. That's a different story. They're both kids, you know.
yeah,
And then mom got mad because, and y'all know where I'm going with this. Like
mhm.
that's a different story. But when you have a 35-year-old man and a 6-year-old little boy, that's you know,
yeah.
there no. There's
What did
no
you
simple
think of the
things.
Sound of Freedom movie?
The Sound of Freedom movie, I feel like more people should have seen it. I
Mm,
feel like more people could have an understanding of the passion us parents
mhm,
and people who actually have worked within the system and seen
mhm,
what damage this stuff really does and how it is not fake and it's not fabricated, it's real. When you see it for yourself, you might have a different point of view. You know,
mhm,
you might understand it's like slavery is still a thing,
mhm,
and sex slave is the number one slavery, bigger than it's ever been, and it's
mhm,
just swept under the rug like it doesn't exist. And everybody thinks they live in a society where, oh, that's something from the past. It's not from the past. It's still happening.
mhm,
And they're Cleveland and this area is bad for trafficking, and
mm,
like it's a hub, and it's just a terrible, terrible, terrible thing, and it needs to be dealt with. And the only way it can truly be dealt with is if we deal with these people in the worst way possible, where others were like, I don't want to do that. Did you see what they did to them? And maybe,
mhm.
you know, put the fear of God back in them because like we're just going to send you to him quicker.
a couple years ago, I would have thought all this kind of talk was total conspiracy theories, and then all that Epstein stuff came out, and the
I've
the
known this about this for
suicide.
years. Yes,
Yeah,
eating. Nah. There's too many names on that list, and people can call me crazy all they want. I don't care because I have worked in it. I've seen it firsthand, and I've known about this before the last couple years. I've known about this for over a decade, and this is
Corey
real stuff.
Feldman was screaming about this stuff back in the day,
Mhm.
you know, like years ago, and a lot of people have talked about it and been roundly, you know, dismissed or criticized or made fun of as conspiracy theorists. And
Oh, you can make fun of me. Touch one of my kids. I'll take my 3 hots in a cot. Test me. Test me. Like, and that's the thing. People need to understand we have our First Amendment right for this reason to speak out, to say something. And people are like, oh, well, you're being barbaric. Everybody deserves it. No, not everybody does. Not everybody. If you're that evil to do that to a baby that's beautiful, that's innocent, and take it away innocence, no, you're not. You're not even human. You're below. You're below. Dogs are above you, and they're man's best friend. Like that, you know. There's a pecking order in life, and you went from being on top of the chain to the very damn bottom. So, like, there's no use for you here. You have no purpose here.
what's sad
Waylon,
about
you know
those
what?
people
Oh,
too?
sorry,
though,
Dustin.
a lot of them were abused themselves. You know, it's like
It's
a
a vicious
cycle.
cycle. It is. It's a vicious cycle. It just they repeat
Sorry, Josh.
what was happened, and the only way we can handle it is like start eliminating. It start eliminating, so it happens
End
to
the
less
cycle.
and less. You have to end the cycle that way, because these are sick individuals.
What were you gonna say, Joey? Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say it. Like you can just hear Waylon's passion here, and I think that's why we get good art from you.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Because this is clearly passion coming out, and that's why I think you get the inspiration that you do to write all these great songs musically and lyrically, and the Easter eggs and all that, because you have a lot of passion that's just bubbling out of you.
Well,
Be able to
it's
channel
like
it in the music.
I want to protect people, and I want to protect children. And I don't want to. I truly love humanity, and I don't want to see anybody suffer. I'd never that I have too much empathy. I'm the type of person I can't watch somebody get their arm broke because like I feel it for them. I truly do. But at the same token, I am that guy. Fuck around and find out. You know, I am that. There's two sides to me. You think it's just a show with the mask? No, that's another part of my personality. I just keep him locked up. You know, he is inside of me, and I do feel that. Don't act like I don't feel this way, because I do. I truly feel this way because like the children are our future, and also they need to be taught right. They need to be guided in a more correct way. My children, I have 3 boys in college right now. I cannot be more proud of my boys. They are all going to college. You know, I got my daughter's graduated from college. She's a nurse. My son's a foreman with a roofing company. He has good. All my children are successful, and I cannot be more proud of each and every one of them. But they need to be guided in a good way, but they also need to be protected, you know. And I feel like as parents, opening them up to the world of the internet and stuff, the predators are always going to find a way to get into what we love most. And we have to be mindful, but we also have to teach them of stranger danger. You know, you have to, like, not everybody's on your side. This is a cold world, and most people are not going to give 2 damns about you.
Yeah, at an early age, it's almost like nowadays you have to make sure your kids know that it's that as sad as it is.
Yeah, it is, and I'm a latchkey kid. I grew up on the streets, and not on the streets, but just out. Like I wasn't allowed in the house. I had to go out and play in the woods. I had to go out and we did crazy stuff. But we also stayed in a group, and we also knew if we seen a stranger, stay the hell away from them. We were taught like even back then we were taught like, no, you don't take no candy, you don't get no car, you fight, you scream, you do whatever. And I feel like that's a lot missing because like everybody like feelings and acceptance and all that. It's like, man, don't let that cloud your damn judgment. That's the key. It's like I think a lot of judgment's been clouded because everybody wants to be accepted and we want to accept everybody, but there's certain things in life you don't accept ever. And this is one of them, because like they're trying to make them. They're called maps, and it's like no, 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 no. This is not a preference. They can't help who they're attracted to. No, they're just sick in the head, and we just need to do them like anything that's rabid. Get rid of them.
Hmm.
So the single, the album doesn't come out until September 17th. Is that right?
September 13th.
September 13th. But you just released a single. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Which one? We've released 3 so far, and there's
What
going
was,
to be a
wasn't the most recent? What was the most recent one?
Filth.
Wasn't it Filth? Yeah.
Yes,
That
Filth.
one's my favorite on the album.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That song's just groovy. Like
Mhm.
it really, like doing a concept, but still being able to like do a song that feels like a song. And you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
There's meaning to it, but like that song still just feels it's fucking cool.
I was going to
Got a
tell you
good hook.
my 2 favorites were Purpose and Filth. I mean,
Purpose.
the whole thing's good, but those 2 I listened to like 3 times today.
Purpose is your victim song. I think you know that too,
Mhm.
because it's a straight up conversation. But Filth is just groovy.
Yeah.
Like it is. It just comes in and it's just got that. It's driving. It has a great hook to it, but it's not a hook. It's just a chorus that's got some real meaning in it, and it says what we mean. It's just like you got time to waste, I got time to kill. It's like we're we're not wasting time on this. We're getting straight to the point.
Have you played that one live yet?
Oh yeah, we've been playing
Okay.
Filth since March.
Okay.
I started playing it live right before it came out. Oh, actually, I started playing it when Greed came out. I gave him a double header of
Okay.
like Greed and that, and people just like because we wasn't going to release it as a single at first. We were going to release another song, and it took. But I thought the song was just so fun. I was like, I want to play this live now, so I went in and started playing it, and the crowd I could just tell they didn't even know the song, and they got into it. They was just like, yeah, we need to release this next. So that's why Filth came out the way it did because it wasn't planned at first. It wasn't going to be one of the 4 songs released.
So on the build up to the album, do you guys have any more singles out? Are you going to be touring? What do you have planned kind of leading up to the release of the album?
Well, I just did the last show that I'm going to do between now and the release of the album was the Gathering of the Juggalos. I was there this weekend.
Oh, nice.
And that was the last show. We have our CD release party, which will be the first show after the album comes out. The album comes out 13th. We're doing the CD release party, the album release party, whatever you want to call it, the 20th. And we're going to play the album front to back. And then I have guests coming. It's gonna be a long night of AKC, and a lot of old friends are gonna come up and join me on the stage. The next song that'll be coming out, and they'll be pushed, will be Voices that I did with Aaron Nordstrom from Gemini Syndrome. That'll be the next single that comes out with the album. There's a video shot for it, and then we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna hop back on the tour. And we'll do West Coast Run with Drowning Pool. We're doing 15 dates for them in October, and
We
then
love Drowning Pool.
oh, Drowning Pool is just CJ and the boy. They're such
CJ's the
sweethearts.
coolest.
CJ's so cool, and they're such sweethearts. We're gonna hop back on the road with them, and then Julie and I are going to take a much needed vacation after that. Because we've been on the road since March 1st, and this month I've got to spend pushing the pre-sale of the album. So anybody who listening to this, you can get the album at akcglobalrecords.com. Go to shop. You can get a vinyl. You can get a CD. If you pick up the vinyl, you get a free digital download with it. It comes within the vinyl, so you can hang the vinyl on your wall and still listen to it on your favorite devices through Bluetooth. So I thought that was really cool that Monarch Heavy did that and put a digital download with the vinyl. I thought that was awesome because, I like hanging my vinyls on the wall. I like getting them. I love the art, and then I just frame them and put them up. But to get the digital download code with it, I was like, this is even better. So you pretty much getting your bang for your buck. You're getting the big art, and you're getting the digital with it. So it's kind of cool. It's like buying a DVD that comes with a free digital download.
Right.
Awesome.
And I thought that was cool. I was like, this is awesome. I'm down with that.
By the way, you mentioned your wife. Happy anniversary. I saw that.
Thank
on
you
social
so
media.
much. We've been married for 5 years, and it's been the best 5 years of my life.
It's awesome.
Congratulations.
Julie helped me turn everything around. She was there when I got sober. She was there when you know, she helped me heal from all the mental anguish and drug abuse that I had put my body through. Was there and guided me and helped me motivate me to move to be a better person. And I'm here today because that woman saved me. So like that, you know, don't fuck with mama because I will come. I may seem like I'm just being in a good mood, but don't touch my Kool-Aid.
Well, we will put the link to the digital, like the where people can buy the album in the comment in the description once we publish this.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to promote or shout out before we wind things down?
Just help us, guys. Pre-order this album. Trust me, there's not going to be another album this year that sounds like this album. And you guys have heard it. You know, I'm not really
Sounds great.
blowing that out my butt when I say this. I truly feel this is the best album I've ever done.
Well, I was going to tell you the same thing, Waylon. Like I said, I bought the albums. I'm a fan. This is the best stuff you've done.
Thank you so much. And I'm so proud of it. But guys, like, help us support, you know, pick up the album, you know, like pick the album up, pick up the physical album, help us become a bigger band and help and spread the word. Like let people know about A Killer's Confession. Because you know, we're on a mission and we're not stopping. Like I said, this is going to turn into a trilogy. I'm going to continue the story. I already have the story arc set in mind of where I'm going with it, and you guys are going to really like where I'm going to go. It's going to be a whole full circle type situation where you know, we'll have answers for a lot of stuff, but at the same time, I want to write songs that you guys can get into, but substantially, that there's substance there that you can learn from, and you know, the one thing I want people to take away from Victim One is like, where am I morally? If I, you know, and that's it. It's like, have I went too far? Can I save myself? And the answer is yes. You've never gone too far unless you've gone too far, and y'all know what I'm talking about. But like, the album's there for you to really sit back and listen to and be like, I've been greedy. I've been selfish. I've been vain. I've been this. I've been that. I can be better. And this is what it's there for, is to like, how far have you went? And like, and I want people to learn that from this, but also enjoy the story and enjoy, like, you know, this guy's damn nuts. You know, it's like, that's when it really boils down to The Killers, he's a nut. He talks to himself. And I'm bad on that too. Julie has woke up many times in the van driving on tour, and I'm talking to myself. And the sad part is, I'm answering. And you know, it was a fun album to write, but I just want everybody to sit back and enjoy it, and know that deep down, like, we're just trying to bring something to light to where, you know, that we do care about, and that's our children.
Well, I hope, Waylon, that you
true.
get back to Minneapolis, St. Paul area again. And
I do too. I can't wait. I love Minneapolis. I've always had a great time.
And if you get up this way, dude, let's get together. We'll have you over for dinner or something.
Oh man, just give me some cheese curds.
Heck yeah. I'm from Wisconsin.
That's like, as soon as I hit there, squeakier the better. You know, it's like, I am all about the food. Like, I'm not about sitting at the bar testing whiskeys. I'm not about that. I'm about, it's like, man, this is what we cook here. This is our specialty. This is what we're known for. But all right, give me a plate.
You get up here and you come over for dinner, and I'll have cheese curds for you for an appetizer, and we'll feed you well.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm wholesome like that. I am totally wholesome like that.
I just got out here to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and everything has grilled green chilies in it.
Oh, yes.
That's green chilies, awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I can't have green chilies anymore. I had made the mistake of eating green chilies in a hot dog, and went to bed. And we were on tour, and we were driving, and I woke up with a code brown emergency.
Oh no. Yeah,
I like green chili, but like down south, it's fried food, it's Southern comfort. You know, down St. Louis, you're all about the barbecue and the sauces. You get down to Texas, it's the brisket. Louisiana is the gumbo. Like, I'm all about the food. Like that's my thing. I'm about the food. You get to New England, it's the chowder and the lobster and seafood.
That's my wife and I, when we vacation too. We're like, what restaurants do we want to hit up? We don't care about the sites. We're like, let's hit up the local restaurants.
Like I do, and I'm all about local cuisine because like every place is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I'm a Southern man, and Southern food wins out of everybody. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm sorry, I know y'all have good food, but I prefer my Southern cooking. I love my soul food.
Yeah, hey, Southern cooking's great, man. A lot of butter.
Yes, it is.
Some of the best, man.
Why do you think I got overweight for a little bit? Mama was cooking.
we can all relate to that a little bit.
Hey, if you get up here in November, I can provide some fresh venison for you.
Oh, I love me some venison. I do. Do you make jerky out of it?
I have not. No.
Dude, my dad, God rest his soul, like he made jerky every year. He'd go out and he get his fill with deer, and he'd fill up with tenderloin in the freezers, and then we'd take the rest of it, and nothing would get wasted. He'd make the best jerky. My friends would be like, "Your dad make jerky yet? Your dad make jerky yet?" And you would think we were selling weed because we would go and we'd make bags, like baggies of jerky, roll it up, and we'd sell them for $5 a pop at school.
Hey, there's a marketing thing for the band.
Like, show us your weed. We're like, we're not selling weed. We're like, what's in these baggies? And we pulled out and we're selling them for $5 a pop.
There's a marketing thing for you though. You can do a killer's confession jerky.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Start doing that.
But like the teachers thought we were selling weed at school, and Daddy thought we just loved these jerky that much. He's like, "You boys are gonna kill me. I can't make it fast enough." And he didn't realize that we're eating it and selling it.
That is funny.
But they would buy it, so like we were making a little extra scratch, and but I haven't had since my dad passed. I haven't. He didn't give me the recipe. Well, he tried to, but like he was being a bit of a prankster, and he goes, "Well, you just want a bit of this, and a bit of that." Like no real measurement of anything. It's like, "Oh, screw it, a little bit more of this." Like, Daddy, you ain't teaching me nothing.
Sounds like Southern cooking.
It was, but he had it memorized. And the whole house would smell like Worcestershire sauce because it was a very Worcestershire soy based jerky, and he'd get it, and like I remember when he'd put them on the toothpick and he'd put it in the oven. Like for a while he put it in the oven, but it was just such a mess to clean it because it all dripped, because you put it in there and broil and it's all just drying out. He ended up getting an air fryer. Like back in the day when they had it's just hot air, but you make
the round ones.
Yeah, and he'd lay it all out that and make it. And I preferred it in the oven, but I always I remember the first time I made it, I seen these strips of meat just looked like they were doused in A1, and I was like, I want that. And then I got it, and I'm like, what's this cracker? It's like it was so because it was like real jerky. It wasn't like the stuff you buy at the store. I mean, real jerky.
The crispy.
You should be chewing on for 20 minutes. Like a jerky's meant to bite, chew, and the more you chew it, the wetter it gets, the more it turns back into meat. That's what happens.
That's how it's supposed to be. None of this Jack Link stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. It's that fake meat, like that process going to give you cancer in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like you don't even know what's in that stuff. They got it bacon, and I get it, and it tastes good, but it's like a piece of rubber. That ain't no meat you should be eating.
All chemical. And sugar.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. My wife loves hers though. Like she loves her original. Like she'll go get it and she'll eat the whole bag. But I'm like that. I'm like, that ain't jerky. That's just flavored something.
when I buy jerky in this house, I hide it so I don't have to share it with my kids.
It's expensive too.
Yeah, well, real jerky will cost you a lot of money. Like you go like somewhere that you get the dried jerky I'm talking about, you're spending $30 for the bag. Like at least,
but you get to enjoy it for hours, so it's worth it.
It is, but like you'll spend $30 on that bag, but it's dry and it's real. But like Slim Jim and Jack Links, that ain't real jerky. Don't fall for it.
The jerky is very popular here in New Mexico, and I've yet to try some of the local stuff, but I've heard very good things.
I bet that shit's hot as hell too. I bet they put some green chilies in it and jalapeno.
Some of them do like spicy, but most of them are like it's classic,
Oh, my daddy had buddies. They put Carolina Reaper in theirs.
Oh,
like it sets you on fire.
Then you get to enjoy it twice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. My dad, yeah, that's the truth. My dad's boys that he worked with, they always like before it was a thing where everybody's doing the one chip and stuff. Them boys grow their peppers in the garden, and nobody's really told you that a pepper from a home garden is going to be way hotter than anything that you can buy.
From the
It really
factory
is.
farms.
Yeah, and like they bring it out, and like Daddy be like, "Don't touch it." He goes, "Don't touch your skin. Don't touch it," because he showed me one time he grabbed one and then like took his hand and like wiped his stomach. He had finger stripes across where it burned him all the
Oh,
way
wow.
across. Like this is the stuff they put in mace. I remember one time I was at a dinner and the mother came out and she had cayenne peppers. And you don't really think cayenne's that hot. It is. Like you're like supposed to take like a knife and shave just a little bit into your chili, and it'll heat the whole thing up. I grabbed the pepper and didn't think about it, and put it in my mouth and bit it. Like, and the pepper was no bigger than that, like just a little bitty thing. I had blisters all on the roof. I couldn't swallow for like 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Like you have no idea about
That's crazy.
a garden pepper, like grown right is hard. Like, and they talk about Scoville units and how the Carolina. I've ate a Carolina Reaper, and it still is not as hot as that cayenne I ate back in the day that burnt me, like
Damn.
burnt my throat, and like it was like I pretty much took a mace and did did that.
You got to write a book, man, of all your food journeys across the country.
I should. People a couple times have asked me a couple times to write a book about and just to tell all of everything.
Yeah, you should title it "A Foodie's Confession."
A foodie's confession, and it's like honestly, I think I'm just going to do it through the music. Like my story's there. Like a lot of stuff I write about is about my past and about the mistakes I've made. But they tried to get me to do a tell-all, and I don't know if the world's ready to hear the debauchery that is Waylon Reavis.
Well, Waylon, come back through and talk to us again when you have something new to talk about or a new tour.
Victim 2.
Hold on a second. We got a comment here. Yeah, he needs a food book for sure.
Hey, there we go. We're
That's
following.
That's the thing. It's like, I am writing the second album right now as we speak. I have music. So this year, next time, we'll be doing the same thing. Album release is coming.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Check out the album. It's out September 13th.
Absolutely.
The full record, Killer's Confession. Great record. The album is called Victim 1. Victim 2 is coming soon.
It's not called Victim 2. It is not called Victim 2.
Okay.
Give you that.
No, Victim 2 is next. Victim 1. Oh, it's not called Victim 2.
That's a good title. Who's next?
There you go.
No, the next one's I'm just going to still ride back, Feed Me More.
But it's not going to be called Victim 2.
No, it's not going to be called Victim 2. The Victim 1 is Victim 1, and when I announce the title, I've already got the title. I already know what it is.
Awesome.
When I announce it, it's all going to make sense.
All right. Well, Waylon, thank you so much, man, for taking the time. This was a great conversation. I hope you come back and talk to us again soon.
Anytime you guys want me, just y'all know the channels. Hit it up. I'll come back.
Awesome.
And everybody get out and see Killer's Confession live. Buy, pre-order the vinyl.
They're very good live, too, by the way.
Thank you so much.
And check it out.
And remember, guys, get up and go do something. Make the most of every single day of your life. We're given today, but we're not promised tomorrow.
I love it.
Amen.
And also, keep it brutal. And we'll see you next time. Peace.